All right, fuel back in. Let's see if she starts. Nope.
Well, I was hoping it was just a bad battery. That would have been a lot cheaper. If I had to guess, I may have killed my starter. Clear prep!
By not following the manufacturer's recommended duty cycle, this pilot is literally destroying his starter. The starter's duty cycle determines how well the starter can tolerate repeated starting attempts. Each successive attempt is meant to be followed by a specified starter cooldown interval. Not following specified duty cycle procedures will cause the starter to overheat and severely damage the starter's internal components, leading to premature starter failure.
Okay, so you probably watched the previous video and noticed that my plane doesn't start and that the circuit we did to charge the battery didn't work. So I spent a little extra time debugging the plane. So before getting my mechanic involved, I wanted to rule out a bad battery. So went to the hangar a few days later, charged up the battery, got it up to 90%, and just pulled it out a little bit to see if the starter would crank, and it didn't. It made the same clicking noise, and when I hooked up my battery to my multi-tester, we got good voltage, and the amperage seemed to be good. I wasn't able to get a real reading on the amps, but like the flaps were moving with a lot of power, and the gyros and so on were spinning up quite well. So the battery was pretty strong. And I can tell you how I know that for a fact is when I kept trying to start, click, 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 the third or fourth time I started to see smoke rise up from the starter. So yeah, it's definitely cooked. I took that news to my mechanic. First things he asked, well, are you sure it's the battery or not the battery? I told him about the smoke, and then he suggested I make some phone calls to see if we can get that starter rebuilt. So took out the starter, put it on the bench. Obviously it didn't work. The gear kicked out as expected, but the motor did not turn. It's a newer SkyTech. It's only about three years old, and it's just out of warranty, of course. Yeah, so my mechanic suggested I call SkyTech to see if they do rebuilds. Turns out they don't do that anymore. And you have to buy the unit whole, which really sucks, and it's out of warranty. So I'm on my way to pick up a new starter, which hurts. I tried calling around the various aircraft wreckers. There's one nearby my airport. He's all out. He suggested a few other numbers, and I've been calling a few places in the States. None of them have the SkyTech that's in my aircraft. And as far as rebuilding goes, there's no authorized parts for rebuilding these. SkyTech doesn't provide the parts, so there's not a real legal way to rebuild these. So now, the starter being new and cooked already, there's a bit of a story behind that. I was kind of expecting this day. If you've seen one of my previous videos, you'll know that I had bad magnetos when I first bought the plane. I didn't really know I had bad magnetos for a while, but as a result of the bad magnetos is that the plane was very difficult to start. Very difficult. We're talking, sometimes it would take more than 10 tries to start the plane. And of course, with the SkyTech, you're not supposed to do that. And you're supposed to let it cool for a half hour after, the sixth attempt. And no more than 10 seconds per attempt, and a good minute or two cool down between attempts. So yeah, it was a little rough on the starter when I had the plane for a while. I have a whole video explaining on that. I'm not going to go too deep into it. now it starts like quarter turn, not even, of a blade. So starting is no problem. But in the back of my mind, I knew that all that abuse to the starter was going to come ahead eventually. And here we are today. So I'm on my way, getting a new starter. I'm going to cry when I pay for it. But I guess that's the game, man. You agreed to buy an airplane. You agreed to have the expenses with it and the problems that come with it. I'm really lucky that they had it in stock. From what I understand, these things are rarely in stock, and usually you have to wait 2 or 3 weeks to get them shipped up. So that was another reason why I didn't want to shop around too much for like a rebuild or a wrecker part, because I'd be spending a couple weeks looking for this stuff. And then I'd have to get it shipped likely across the border from the States. And there's all kinds of duty fees and brokerage fees and stuff. And when it's all said and done with the exchange rate, we're not really saving all that much. So might as well just go and bite the bullet, get a new one, get one with a warranty, and treat it well. Now that I have the better mags, I can treat it well. It'll start in like a half a second, and I'll keep this one good. All right, let's get this cowling off. So the mechanic has given me a green light to start the work of putting the starter on, but under supervision. And they will come and inspect the work, make sure it's proper before signing off. But he's quite busy, and I'm not. So it works out. And I apologize for the lighting. I can't open the hangar door right now because there is a tornado warning. So the lighting might suck. Maybe the audio would be a little better, but we can't have the hangar door open in the highlands. It'll come off the rails. And here is where the starter goes. I've already cleaned off the area for the gasket. So just going to make sure it's still clean, or if I missed anything before putting on the gasket. Okay, gasket's on this side. Just gonna line things up a little. So let's inspect this gasket. Looks good all the way through. I can't really see down there. I'll use my phone. Looks like a good seal there. Down and under. Once that presses in, that should be good. Okay, let's snug on some hardware. That's nutty. There's a cooling line that goes to the alternator, and that thing was wedged underneath the starter before, like so. But maybe the fit is just a little bit different. Might not fit. There we go. Okay. Now I can slip that on. For those who are wondering, I'll take a photo.
Yeah, not a lot of commentary on this one, just putting it in. Yeah, normally I park my car in the hangar here because I got lots of space, but this time, no way. Not when there's a storm coming. Because this place is known to lose power in storms, and there'd be no opening that hangar door. Gotta love tight spaces where you can't get a wrench in there to turn or a ratchet. But this is still 10 times easier than a car. It's not so bad. Always good to give your terminals a cleaning. You don't want to put new grime and dirt over your new part. I think that's good enough. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That bolts back on. They're all pretty snug. Chris is going to look over it. Power is in. That's all active. It's done. I'm going to put this placard in. Where's a good spot? Right here. Right there. I'm going to stop it here. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to get my mechanic to sign off now. Clear prep! Oh, that's unusual. Let's let that cool. All right, I wanted to show off how well this thing started, but of course it doesn't when I want it to. It is hot. Very hot right now. Okay, let's give it another shot. Clear prep!
There we go. I guess I flooded it. It's really hot. I might just do 1 or 2 circuits. I'm not gonna fly too much. 29, almost 30 degrees Celsius. It's a bad day for density altitude, a bad day for thermals, and a bad day for carb ice. Good RPM. Temperatures and pressure's good. Airspeed alive.
Thank you, Captain 2. Tango 2 minutes to paragraph. Expect 2 canopy and aircraft on descent for 1,500 and below. Email traffic, Uniform Victor Hotel, Airborne 13, remaining in circuit.
Okay, I'm losing RPM. Okay. Come on, baby. Probably too rich. Probably too rich. Okay, looking left, looking right. Too hot for this plane, too hot.
Female traffic, Uniform Victor Hotel will be returning to 26 immediately. Seatbelt traffic, Gulf Quebec, Boston, speeds 172, 5 to the southwest, 3,200 descending, will be overhead to joint mid left downwind, 13 seatbelt. Female traffic, Uniform Victor Hotel, final 26.
So that's either carb ice or just the density altitude. Either way, that's enough for me. Let's slip it. Forty flaps.
Uniform Victor Hotel, you okay?
Yeah, just when I was climbing out, I lost a little horsepower. I think it was either the density altitude or a little bit of ice.
Oh, okay, Walter, I see you landed. Have a good day. Let us know if you need help.
I'm all good. Thank you very much. Uniform Victor Hotel.
Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.